Good morning and welcome to the Polk County Board of Commissioners. It's March 15th. Extra agendas are on the back calendar. Commissioner Pope's excused and Commissioner Gordon will be joining us online. So right now I'd like to look for approval of minutes.
Also move.
I'll second that. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. And to the highlight, actually we have Community Services Consortium presentation. Kelly Cutsforth and Mona Hines. You feel like to?
You want to come up here?
Come on up.
All right.
Please state your names and who you're with for the record, please.
Kelly Cutsforth, Community Services Consortium.
Mona K. Hines, retired Community Services Consortium. I know. Woo.
You're welcome.
You just wanted to start in.
Go
Well, then
for it.
we would like Mackenzie, since this is a highlight of you, you're going to? Okay. And Kelly's going to talk more about those. There's one brochure. It is a specific for a GED pathway. And then Kelly will talk about what the other ones are there for. But I think most of you know that we're a workforce and education program. And Commissioner Gordon, you can hear me well enough also? Perfect. And so out of that, what our job is to then re-engage youth in all of Polk County in their education and have them get a work experience, a job, and or college. Now that you may all know, but we want you to know all three county commissioners have come and visited us, but Matt, Morgan, Nicole, and Greg, I want to make sure that you're invited and know that you can come at any time. We're going to talk specifically about some times that you can come and see what's going on. And Mackenzie will end with her because that's really what it's all about. We want to tell you about every single student, but this is a pretty good success story that we want to tell you about on here. So about 5.5 years ago, I was blessed enough, and Sean Larson is here, and he was the one that was silly enough to hire me. Just so you know, Commissioner Polk told me not to take the job. And so there you go. He can enjoy that on tape, but he's supported me ever since then. And really, we walked into the office and it was a pile of dust is what it was. And I want to tell you, the reason why we're here is to tell you that we think we're really special and we have something to offer for all of our youth, especially those that have dropped out. That's the main focus of who we work with. And so we started with community mapping and we listened to everybody. We came to the county commissioners. We went all over the Polk County. And the first thing we did was out of that, we started a garden. That was one of the things that was asked for at that time. The other thing that was asked for was a sidewalk project. We may not talk about that as much, but that was also something that a few years later we did. So I wanted to let you know that one of the things we do is we really listen to the community. We network with the community. We now network with every organization we can think of, service organizations, Chamber of Commerce's, businesses, service integration, who you're all, of course, completely familiar with in all of Polk County. But we connect with the youth, and that's what's the most important thing, including a youth council. And that's pretty unusual in workforce and education to have something like that. And so we listen to the youth and what they're needing, what they're wanting. Now, what's interesting about that, 100% of them absolutely that come to us say, I'm not a leader, I shouldn't be on here. So to work with the youth about their skills and for them to go, oh, I have something valuable to say is really what we're about. At that point, then we needed to expand. So the Salem Hospital was the first one that we applied for a grant and got funding for our garden. So we're going to welcome you to that. And we want to invite you. You can put it on your calendar now if you want. June 7th is the next graduation. It'll be in the garden. And I have to say, it's going to be incredible just to be able to see how we've gone from a little tiny garden to a full community garden and youth garden. Out of that, then we were blessed enough by Oregon State to have the mobile unit. Did any of you ever come and see that mobile unit that was traveling that had all the techie stuff in it? Anybody? Like Matt, you didn't see it either because I was thinking maybe you might have. Out of that, then we taught business entrepreneurship for about half a year. And out of that, then there was so much excitement around 3D printers and things like that. We're like, ooh, we can't let that excitement go. So we called about 30 partners together. And at that point, I sat in that room and I'm like, I guess I'm writing a grant in the very near future. And we did, an Oregon Community Foundation funded that. That is what most people come and see, is what's called our makerspace. And a makerspace, I'm not a techie person. You can talk to our tech teacher and know that I'm not. It's a big joke. But out of that, what you don't know is it becomes what you want it to be. So it's a career path. So we have a garden, culinary, sidewalk, getting those kind of work experiences. And now this techie stuff. And I'm going to leave the computer-aided drafting for Kelly to talk about a little bit more, because she's really taken that on. But out of that, there are things like embroidery machines and sewing machines that you wouldn't think of. Things that are this hands-on stuff, that we, in the last 20 years, got rid of in schools, all of those things that you touch and feel and get careers and you get those experiences. So that's what we want to invite you to. That's the easiest one. Every Thursday night, we open it up to the community. That's how we've done it from the beginning. And so it's always open for you to see all the 3D printers and everything that's now come out of that, and then the direction that we're wanting to go. At that point, then, about 2 to 5 years ago, we started expanding the crews. So then we got full staff, and we just want to share with you, we went from this to where we are now and how proud we are in Polk County. And we are here to ask for your help and support to continue Community Services Consortium being the workforce and education program in your county. So we expanded staff and we expanded crews. So our crews not only were full crews where this youth could get work experience, but they also then went 12 months a year. And for students that drop out, that was a pretty funny thing to see the first time. They're like, what are you talking about? It's like, actually, staying in school may have been somewhat easier in some ways that way, but we go 12 months a year. So that was what we did up until about 2 years ago. What we want to brag about is what happened in the last 2 years when I feel like most of the world shut down. We absolutely did not shut down. In fact, I would say we even expanded more. I've already mentioned the computer-aided drafting Kelly's going to talk about, but we've added drone pilot certification, CPR and first aid certification. We're smart enough to know that it costs a lot of money and there were no CPR first aid classes available. And so we got one of our staff members trained to be the trainer. So we do in-house training now in CPR and first aid. And that also includes a certification called ServSafe. You hear about, getting your food handlers, but ServSafe is the type of certification that we want youth to have that they can use because it's certified nationally and recognized as something that if you want to go into any field of culinary or customer service or anything. So that's also then a certification that we have worked on having then in-house in Polk County. We've expanded our relationships in all areas in getting the students the one-on-one tutoring, but more than that. We'll give one example later on of a student where we have the entire school district and now Willamette ESD and a number of partners involved in that. So we're not afraid to be like, we don't know what's going on. How can we help the youth the most? And so that relationship is specifically in the special education department. And I don't know if you're familiar with school districts, Sean can attest to this. It is not easy to do that. Within Polk County, we have such a good reputation that special education asks us to be involved with all of their IEP meetings from the beginning, even when they're just applying to our program. So that relationship that we've been able to build is pretty incredible. We never closed. We remained open. Can give you an example. There was no GED testing during this time anywhere. If there was, it was very few. So our music teacher who owns his own music business in Independence put a mask on. We put one student in the back with a mask and we drove them all the way to University of Oregon all through COVID. So we never stopped during that time. Our graduations, we never stopped. And I'm going to be quiet in about 2 minutes at the most because as we can all joke, Greg, I can't believe you, see, he was already like this. So I end with this, that our partnerships with, we knew that we needed to create career paths. So we worked out, and Tim Ray and some other people in Polk County, that we expanded business, industry, and education. So we started a partnership of about 50 partners in all of Polk County, really focusing on the Dallas School District and the Central School District. And out of that partnership and future career paths is pretty exciting. So those are just some of the things that we've been able to do. So we're going to leave time for questions, and Kelly's going to go, and then we're going to talk about our success stories and let Mackenzie tell you a little bit of her story.
So my name is Kelly Cutsforth, and I came to this job with 32 years of teaching experience, teaching middle school. And I was amazed that this program was here right in Independence, serving all of Polk County. As I looked around my first month on the job and I saw the students who were walking in the door, I'm like, oh my goodness, what an amazing gift this is to Polk County, because we have butterfly netted those students who otherwise would just kind of be lost. And here they are being productive, gaining an education and finding those pathways into the workforce. So we have an explosion of applicants right now. We have one of our past students came in the other day, and I was helping him with his resume, and he looked up on the wall, and the applicant list is, he goes, I've never seen that many applicants before, and we're overflowing. And so right now we have 29 who would like to come into our program, 51 who are active, and 28 are in follow-up. And follow-up means that they've received their GED, they've done their work experience. We just call them once a month, check in. Hey, is there anything that you need? How's your job going? That kind of thing. Why are we getting these students? Well, COVID. A lot of our students who are coming in have not been to a public high school. They went right from middle school. They were online during COVID. And now they're nervous about going into the big public schools. So it's a challenge, but we're making it happen. So we're small, we're flexible. We have a program that meets their individual needs. They do not feel like a number. We strive to make sure that they feel like they're a part of a bigger community. We have all sorts of pathways for them. One that we're really excited about is computer-aided drafting. Our tech teacher is just putting together that curriculum, really streamlining that curriculum so we can get kids through computer-aided drafting and then hook them in with either Mac Metals, or I just have a meeting set up with Robert Lloyd Sheet Metals, both who make use of the CAB program. Our other pathways are wine studies. We're doing a wildland firefighting, museum archivist with the new museum in Independence, vet techs in Dallas and Independence, and we're doing a healthcare one with the chiropractic office, drone pilot program. We're working on getting a CDL and a small equipment operator. I have a meeting with Knife River that we're trying to get that one put together. And then Minot and Monmouth Power and Light. So we are working on trying to get our participants their GED, work experience in-house, where we teach them those essential skills that they need to be successful out in the workplace, and then provide that pathway out into the workforce. This is an amazing program. There's nothing that I have seen. Every community that my husband and I travel to, whether it's in this country or out of the country, we always ask to go and visit schools just so we can see. And there's nothing like it. This is what Mona and Sean and Community Services Consortium has built is unique, and it's a gift for Polk County. So, and our needs. Oh, we really are in need of, we have right now a half-time GED teacher. And as we're growing, we really need we need a full-time GED teacher and a half-time career coach. Because once we get our participants out into the workforce, we need somebody to check in on them, check in with their employer, check in with the participant. And we're just a little bit short. I'm trying, but that's a lot of meetings for me in the day. And my main responsibility is to take care of the participants. So those are our needs, but
So what you have in front of you.
Oh, thank you, Mona.
Some of those career paths, so you can see, and that's all been Kelly since she's been there, so that there can be a visual for all of you to see that we're continually going to be presenting in paper, writing, and support the career paths. Out of that, we could talk about every one of the youth, and honestly, that's one of the reasons why we're successful. Everybody asks, why are you so successful? Because we expect when you walk in the door that every single staff member knows every single youth's name, what their story is, and what they need. So out of that, then we could talk about all of them. But I'm going to let Mackenzie come up and sit in this chair because she's going to talk for a couple minutes. And then if she doesn't add the whole story, you can come up and sit by me. That's perfect. So this is Mackenzie Bergquist, and I'm not going to say anything. You can share anything you want, and then I'll just fill in if I think there's something that you didn't touch on, okay?
Okay. So I just wanted to tell you all my story very quickly. My journey began in late 2017. I was a senior at Central High School, and I sat down and had a meeting and was told that I was behind. I wasn't going to graduate. I was going to have to stay another year, and I already struggled getting up and going there every day. So I made the decision to drop out. And then I started in Mona's program, or at CSC in 2018. And it was a long journey for me. I was young and I was running around. I didn't live at home with my parents, and I was distracted. And throughout, sorry, I'm a little nervous. Throughout for about 4 years, Mona and CSC just stuck by me, and I slowly was getting my GED, and they would constantly call me and message me, when are you coming back? We miss you. We need to know how you're doing. We really want you to succeed. We're here for you, anything you need. They helped me with so many things. They helped me get an opportunity to do a paid internship at the Chamber of Commerce in Monmouth. And they helped me see potential that I didn't know that I even had. Sorry if I get emotional, but it took me about 4 years to get my GED, and I never thought I was going to be able to do it. And I had a son. He's 3 now. He just turned 3 on Saturday. And I have my last final tonight for my first term in college, and I'm actually in college, and I could never imagine that I would ever be at this point. And honestly, my life has really changed because of this program. I really don't think I ever would be where I am today without this program, and without them consistently checking up on me when I was defiant and just distracted and did not want to do what I needed to do. And now I'm going towards a degree, and I really see myself having a good career and being able to provide for my son. And yes, I just wanted to tell you all how amazing they are, and they really do change people's lives. And I have a few friends as well who are up on that wall that would say the same thing. And Mona she's like my second mom now, honestly. She went and got me Dutch Bros before this. She's like, you need coffee? You hungry? But yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
I don't need to add a thing. Mackenzie did great. I know we're at that time, but we wanted to at least, yeah. So Commissioner Gordner was just clapping.
No, thank you.
So I know we're at time, so we're going to stop. And if you had any questions for us, if there's something you feel like we didn't touch on, and once again, just to leave that open, and we really mean it, everyone, if you ever want to stop by, we would love for you to stop by. Greg,
Commissioner Gordon?
Well, Mona and Kelly and Mackenzie, I don't have any specific questions, but I just really appreciate the program and the partnerships formed, particularly with special ed programs in our school districts. Mackenzie, way to go. I'm so proud of you. And the effort you put in now will bear fruit for the rest of your life. How cool is that? And Kelly and Mona, we've talked about just the importance of connecting families and guardians of students with services as they as they enter the school system and before they get into kind of crisis mode. I really appreciate your efforts connecting them with other services to be proactive. And yeah, I'm just so impressed with all of you. Really appreciate the responsiveness of the programming to fit student interests. And you know, the traditional school format doesn't work for everybody. And this is just such a wonderful alternative for certain kids that can thrive in different situations. So thank you for being here today.
Mackenzie, thanks. Great job.
Thank you.
That's something to be very proud of.
Thank you.
And Mona, I just go back 3 years ago when we started this funding and applying from workforce for their stuff. And I kind of got involved in that first tour. And I challenged you, how are you going to be the county consortium? And you've done a great job. So could you embellish a little more on how you brought other areas of the county into this and what you have planned in the future?
Actually, you know, I think you all know that Commissioner Morthorse is a really nice guy, and he said it really nicely, but he's like, I don't even know who this Mona person is. And he was very blunt about it. And he was like, so we did think about, you know, would we have Mackenzie come? Because at that point, he's like, is it just a central Monmouth Independence program? Because we wanted to share with you all of the success stories because they do range from all over the county. So at that point, I already thought we were doing a great job with the size of the staff, but I was like, I take it to heart, and so does Kelly. Just since I've retired, I can't even believe how much she's already expanded and what she's done. So out of that, you crack me up, Dan, and get Mackenzie. That's okay. You see,
Trying not to be obtrusive.
oh, hey, you know, I'm going to help you. So out of that, then what we did is we went back and we really had to think about, you know, have we not expanded enough? But I'd say our biggest success was at that point, Tim Ray and I from Dallas School District, and now Bill from Dallas, we became the partners that just were the greatest thing that ever happened. And so we went out and we specifically then one-on-one met with at least 50 business partners, business and education, all across Polk County. And we mean all across Polk County, not just one section. And out of that, that's been a 3-year process of those businesses being fully engaged every single time. And we didn't think it was that big of a deal, but I guess it is a big deal. The business, industry, and education don't talk to each other. So every 3 months now, that is still continuing to go on where we meet and we communicate with each other, and CSC's been the one that's been behind it. So when Commissioner Morthorse recently said, hey, I don't think you've contacted this and this business, Kelly, she mentioned both of them, went and did it immediately. So I think that's one of the things we can do is very quickly make that change. But to answer that question, that's probably one of the most successful things. And then Kelly is also looking at, we have office ability in Dallas. Falls City wants us to be there all the time. At that point, those programs, except Falls City really wanted us to be there, and we've been, and Commissioner Gordon knows we're really involved there, but it would take some more time, energy, and staffing to be fully in the others. And I'm not gonna, you know, apologize for the great relationship we have at the Central School District. We just want to replicate it in all the others. So does that answer your question?
And that's perfect. And I'll renew the answer. I just wanted the record to know so the people in the community actually knew that this funding is just not going to Monmouth Independence. When you say you are the effort of the county, you really are the effort of the county.
We are, and 2 of the success stories in there, one's from Falls City and one's from Dallas. And so absolutely, yep.
And from a meeting room and 2 classrooms, when I first saw you, to what you're providing and offering for our students today is amazing. Right here, it's amazing. So
Yeah, the counselor, and I'm not going to say the counselor's name because it wouldn't be cool. They did not believe that this young lady would ever graduate at all. And for her to be successful finishing tonight, her first term of college, they are all in awe. It's pretty, then all of the counselors in that school know about the successes. And they're the ones that are recommending, and the counselors in all school districts have been amazing all along. So, yeah.
So with this grant funding you've been writing, is there opportunity to find the money to cover this half-time GED teacher and career?
I'm ready. I can talk.
I knew you brought John for a
And
reason.
John can share.
Yeah, I mean, so it's something that we continually work on in terms of finding more funding. So, I mean, we get a good chunk of our funding through Willamette Workforce Partnership for the WIOA program. Central School District has been funding us. And then we go after as many grants as we feel like we can manage, to continue to build out our programs. So OCF was a big one, getting the makerspace launched. We're looking at another OCF grant right now. So yeah, I think there's opportunities out there to continue to expand, but it is something that we have to continue to work at. So.
And what is that budget you're looking at for that position?
For a halftime cost.
Well, you got a halftime GD teacher and a halftime career coach. So is that one
Yeah,
full-time
so
person?
One FTE, yeah. So, I mean, we'd be looking at 65 to 70,000. Yeah.
And that's a great thing. And I want to add on to that. That's why CSC, I believe, is the right one. We're never going to just stay here. We know where we want to go. And we think about it. One of the areas we're like, man, if we just always had, and I know the commissioner, well, all three county commissioners would say this, our youth today have an interesting style. I'll just say it positively, that we've not had one youth that have quit a job that they already have another job. I'm old school. That's a really strange thing. And so that career coach that we're talking about, we want them to be on the field all the time, where we're talking to them, meeting with them. Mac Meadows was a good one. We were talking. They believe that the people that go to work, Mac Meadows don't know what a great gem they have here in this community. So they go off and go someplace else, but they don't go there. They quit this job and then go there. And we want to be in there talking, being there, being real future, professional family wage jobs. So I think it's really needed. Is it something that we have yet? No, but they're already working on then the next, pot of money. And the Willamette Workforce, the WIOA funding isn't going to do everything that we've done in Polk County. And I don't think any workforce and education program should ever just rely on that money.
Well, maybe once this program continues, maybe some of the private businesses stepping up will donate some money and cover some of the shortfalls as well.
And I think that that's really what Kelly's strength right now is. We have April 4th is the next business industry education meeting. So we'll put that on your calendars also, that relationship is going to be vital. It's what is it?
It's the 11th.
April 11th. See, we'll get it right. April 11th. Yeah.
One of the biggest challenges we hear on the workforce is finding the workforce.
Yeah,
How do you
it is.
attract them to apply?
Yes.
If we can get a line of employees coming out of school and having jobs, it's a win for both sides of the community, for the youth and for our businesses and our.
And I know the county commissioners know this, but it's so that it's on record, the business industry education, that group is not just CSC. It's fully all of the teachers and the CTE teachers at both Dallas and Central are intricately involved in that. So yes, we're talking about all of our youth.
Very good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Commissioner Gordon, anything else?
I do not.
Excellent. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you,
Thank
Mackenzie.
you.
All right.
Bye-bye. Thank you for everything.
Great job. And looking for any non-listed items today.
Nope.
Hearing none. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.